Arsenal head to Vale Park today for an EFL Cup clash. We don't expect the usual starting XI. With Arteta planning wholesale changes, this is the perfect chance for youngsters and squad players to step up. But the rotation costs Arsenal against a motivated League One side. Let's find out. Welcome back to All About Arsenal. The Gunners are back in cup action this Wednesday night, making a trip to Vale Park to take on a League One side, Port Vale. Now, this might look like a routine fixture on paper, but with a packed schedule, injuries in the squad, and Mikel Arteta set to rotate heavily, this game has some very interesting talking points. Today, we'll break down everything you need to know, from our team news, predicted lineups, tactical breakdowns, the likely academic stars to feature, and of course, my score prediction. Stick with me to the end, because I want to hear who you think deserves to start this game. The EFL Cup has never really been a top priority under Mikel Arteta, but have been used strategically to give fringe players and youngsters minutes in competitive football. As you're clearly aware, Arsenal has some youngsters in the Hill End, as well as some fringe players who will hardly play in the Premier League or in the Champions League. So the EFL Cup and the FA Cup are key competitions that could afford them to play some well-needed game time. As you'd expect, the bigger picture for a club as ambitious as Arsenal is the Premier League and the Champions League. So don't expect the strongest XI. At the same time, this cup run is a chance to build momentum, give minutes to squad players, and of course, keep the winning mentality alive. For Port Vale, this is their cup final. Vale Park will be rocking. I expect it to be a full capacity crowd with the fans turning up to see their home side take on giants. And of course, there's always a chance for an upset. If I take you guys a while back last season, Plymouth Argyle hosted Liverpool in the FA Cup in the fourth round, I think, or so last season. And when they won that game, you could see how everyone in the club went into party mode. With Arsenal visiting Vale Park, the home side will begin to test Mikel Arteta's team physically and mentally ahead of this fixture. Port Vale are currently 19th in the League One, but in the EFL Cup, they qualified to play against Arsenal in this third round after key away victories over Birmingham City and Blackpool. Blackpool are currently 22nd in League Two, but Birmingham City are in the Championship. So you can see how this meant to the guys in Port Vale winning the Championship side in the second round. That way it boosted their confidence ahead of course, the Premier League team coming to visit them in Vale Park. It's also worth noting that in the previous two rounds of the EFL Cup, Port Vale actually played away to Blackpool, where they won, and away to Birmingham City, where they won as well. Arsenal has some history with Birmingham City. If you go all the way back to 2011, when we played them back then, it was still called the Carabao Cup final, and of course we lost that game, and that was just terrible. But Vale's form has been quite decent, winning 4 of their last 6 games, although their last loss came in the hands of Leyton Orient at home. So the players will be motivated for this clash. I would expect them to, be up for it. As expected, they'll be looking to the likes of their top scorer, Devante Cole, to lead the line for them once again in their regular 3-5-2 setup. Cole joined Port Vale this season after a disappointing campaign with West Brom last year, and he'll be looking to test his abilities against a team as good as Arsenal. The Gunners, on the other hand, just coming off a 1-1 draw with Manchester City. That was a game where Arsenal, in quotes, I think they didn't really start the game as expected. I had my own concerns about the lineup. Obviously, I'm not the manager of the club. That's Mikel Arteta's job. But seeing what Eze and Saka and other players did when they came on in the second half, of course, seeing how Man City also defended, it was evident that, we should have started with Eze at the very least in the midfield. Bearing in mind that Odegaard was not available for selection. Arsenal's form has still been good. 6 games played so far, just 2 goals conceded. One was a world-debut free kick from Dominic Soboslai, while the other was a very clinical strike in Haaland. But the Gunners are currently second in the Premier League, 5 points behind Liverpool. And obviously, they'll be hoping for some good works for Crystal Palace when Liverpool visit Selhurst Park this weekend But before setting their sights this weekend against a very hard clash against Newcastle United, Port Vale is currently in front of us. And these are the games that we need to play and do well effectively, because these are the potential games where our youngsters and French players can get a chance to strut their stuff. So team news for Arsenal: Kai Havertz is still sidelined. At the start of the campaign, he suffered a knee injury that requires some surgery, and he has been on the shelf for a while. Gabriel Jesus is still out. We're not expecting to see him play competitive football this year. And our captain, Martin Odegaard, is still nursing a shoulder injury. You also heard about key winger Noni Madueke has been ruled out with a knee issue after his scan, and that's another attacking option gone. Saka and White are available for selection, and I think they're going to start this game because they need some valuable minutes ahead of the tough clash against Newcastle this weekend. I also expect to see a debut for Kepa Arrizabalaga, with Raya spending some time in the dugout. To predicted lineups, I expect Port Vale to maintain the same starting X-side that have been doing very well for them this campaign. Gauchi will be in goal, with Hall, Humphries, and Debra as the back three. I'd expect Gordon and Gabriel to play as with the wing backs, with Garrity, Byers, and Crossdale in midfield. The two-pronged attack of Cole and Payton will be the ones leading the line. For us now, Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to make his debut finally. And in front of him, you have Myles, Lewis-Skelly, Piero Hincapié, Christian Mosquera, and of course Ben White. Ben White is someone that really needs some minutes ahead of the competitive campaign ahead. I would expect to see Zubimendi get the rest with Christian Nogan starting for the first time, and I would like to see Mikel Merino and Nwaneri playing the left 8 and right 8 roles. Arsenal needs Gyökeres to keep pumping them goals, and unfortunately, they don't have any attacking options, especially in centre forward. I would expect Victor Gyökeres to start. At least he can play like 60 minutes. I was expecting to also get a couple of goals to boost his confidence against the game against Newcastle. So far, he has not scored against Manchester City, Liverpool, and Man United, while he got goals against Leeds United and Nottingham Forest. I expect Martinelli to start the game. In the last 2 games, he's come on as a sub, and he has scored 2 vital goals. So he should have enough in the tank to start this time. And while folks might want McDermott start on the right, I think Saka should start on the right to get at least 45 minutes before he's taking off for a younger player like Dauman, or maybe bringing Trossard on and taking Martinelli to the right. But I think I'd love to see Dauman coming as a sub for Saka. For our key tactical battles, I'll first start with the players to watch. This is going to be a big game for Nwaneri. He is the one that will shoulder the creative burden against Port Vale, and I would expect him to, push for regular minutes. The last time he played in the Carabao Cup, he scored a couple of wonderful goals against Bolton, against Preston North End, and of course did so well up until when we got to the latter stages, to helping the folks of Crystal Palace and Newcastle, where he was relegated back to the bench. But this is a game I expect him to start, and I hope he does well. He's a player that is very, very important to Arsenal, and he will need minutes. Myles Lewis-Skelly is another player that has not gotten enough game time in recent time because the way Calafiori has been playing. So this will be an opportunity for Myles Lewis-Skelly to get some game time and prove to the coach that he deserves his time in the squad as well. This is going to be a long season. Everyone will get a chance to play. But I don't see Calafiori starting this. Myles Lewis-Skelly should be the one that will start on the left-hand side. Gabriel Martinelli is one that had some ups and downs this season, with a perfect opportunity for him to sharpen his edge and get on the score sheet. While Victor Gyökeres is still adapting to Arsenal, but this is a good game that can build his confidence, which will allow him to score a lot of bags of goals, which he will need ahead of the clash against Newcastle. I expect Port Vale to play a low block, which is Arsenal's kryptonite, but the Gunners should have enough in the time to see them off. We should dominate possession. There should be no questions about that. I'd also expect Port Vale to target set pieces, play with one direct football, try to use their physical strikers to trouble our rotated squad. But Christian Mosquera has shown how amazing he is in the couple of games he has played. It's just to see how Piero Hincapié will get into speed as well. The challenge will be for us now to keep the tempo high, but we should have enough in the tank to dispatch Port Vale. Well, for my prediction, most people actually expect us now to win this game comfortably. But in the EFL Cup, of course, there'll be some surprises. But this is not, and it's very important not to mess this up because that's why we want to be complacent ahead of the clash against Newcastle. I believe it's going to be a routine 3-0 scoreline for Arsenal. Martinelli will probably score. Gyökeres will also score maybe a goal or two. And I'll be shocked if Nwaneri scores as well. So maybe Martinelli, Gyökeres, Nwaneri. That should be my prediction for those that will score in the game. But most importantly, I want to see energy. I want to see confidence. I want to see my academy boys looking comfortable at senior level. I hope someone like Josh Nichols will come on as a sub. I'm certain that Max Dama will also come on as a sub. And of course, you have the likes of Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly, who are like the Hill End graduates that are now at the senior team level. So that wraps up the preview. Arsenal are going to head to Vale Park with a rotated squad. But the mission is simple: progress to the next round and give our youngsters a platform to shine. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who are you most excited to watch in Wednesday's game? Is it Nwaneri? Is it Lewis-Skelly? Is it Max Dowman? Or will Josh Nichols even get a run out on the right-hand side, allowing Timber to rest, or coming in for White eventually? If you enjoyed this preview, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are not already, and join me in the match reaction after the final whistle. For those that don't know, I'll also be doing a watch-along, but it might start a bit late because I think I'm not going to be home by 8. But as soon as I get home, we get into it, see our voices on Carabao Cup action, and I'd love to see you guys here with me in the watch along as well. This has been all about Arsenal, and I'll see you on match day.